Throughout history, there have been individuals who have defied the odds, broken boundaries, and dared to challenge the status quo. These are the badass people who have shaped our world and left an indelible mark on history. From warriors and activists to rebels and leaders, they refused to be held back by fear or convention. They fought for what they believed in and refused to back down. Even in the face of insurmountable obstacles, their stories inspire us to be brave, bold, and unapologetically ourselves. Here are the most badass people in history. Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan was a ruthless conqueror who established one of the largest empires in world history. He was known for his military tactics, strategic thinking, and unrelenting determination to expand his territory. He conquered a vast swath of land from China to Eastern Europe, and his armies were responsible for the deaths of millions of people. He slept with so many women that every 1 in 200 people today are considered his direct descendants. At the same time, it's important to recognize that Genghis Khan's legacy is complex and has been the subject of much debate and interpretation. While he is often depicted as a brutal and bloodthirsty warrior, some historians argue that he was also a visionary leader who helped to create a more unified and interconnected world. Additionally, there is evidence to suggest that he was a patron of the arts and literature, and that he valued education and scholarship. Jack Churchill. Jack Churchill, also known as Mad Jack, was a British soldier who served in World War II. He was known for his eccentricity, fearlessness, and his unique approach to combat. Churchill was a man of many talents, including playing the bagpipes, and he was a skilled archer and swordsman. During the war, Churchill was commando and served in various theaters of operation, including Norway, Italy, and Yugoslavia. He became famous for his exploits on the battlefield, which often involved charging into battle wielding a longbow and a Scottish broadsword. He once captured 42 German soldiers and a mortar crew by himself, armed with only his sword. In another famous incident, Churchill led a charge against German soldiers while playing the bagpipes, despite being hit by a grenade and losing his sword. He managed to escape and continue fighting until he was eventually captured and sent to a concentration camp. Churchill's unorthodox approach to warfare earned him a reputation as a fearless and eccentric warrior, and he became a legend in his own time. Jing Shi. Jing Shi was an incredibly badass historical figure. She was a notorious pirate queen who commanded the Red Flag Fleet, one of the largest pirate fleets in history, and controlled much of the South China Sea during the early 19th century. Jing Shi was known for her ruthlessness and strategic thinking. She was a skilled fighter and was feared by both her enemies and her own crew. She established a strict code of conduct for her pirates, which included rules against stealing from the local populace and rules for the treatment of captured prisoners. Jing Shi was so successful that the Chinese government eventually offered her and her crew amnesty in exchange for surrendering. She agreed to the terms and retired from piracy, eventually opening a gambling house with her husband and living a long and prosperous life. This badass woman rose to power in a male-dominated world and became one of the most successful pirates in history. The Tank Man. The Tank Man, also known as the Unknown Protester, was an incredibly brave and iconic figure who stood up against the Chinese military in Tiananmen Square during the 1989 pro-democracy protest in Beijing, China. On June 5, 1989, the day after the Chinese government declared martial law and began cracking down on the protests, a man carrying shopping bags stood in front of a column of tanks as they advanced towards the square. The tanks repeatedly tried to maneuver around him, but he refused to move, even climbing on top of one of the tanks and speaking with the driver. The Tank Man's act of defiance was captured on film and became one of the most powerful images of the 20th century, symbolizing the struggle for freedom and democracy in the face of oppression. The man's identity is still unknown, and it's not clear what happened to him after he left the square. The Tank Man's courage in the face of overwhelming force and his willingness to stand up for what he believed in, even at great personal risk, make him a badass and inspiring figure. Grigori Rasputin. By most accounts, Grigori Rasputin was a notorious badass who worked his way up from poverty in the late 19th century Siberia to the highest echelons of Russian society to become a confidant of Tsar Nicholas II and his wife Alexandra Feodorovna, who may also have been seeing him on the side. Rumors about the man's insatiable eye for the ladies combined with fears that he may actually be an envoy of the devil, and not a holy man as he claimed, using magic to exert influence over the royal family. After years of debauchery with Russian groupies and zero respect for the upper class, locals finally had had enough, and it took an evening of cyanide poisoning, being shot twice, hit in the face with a shoe, then being thrown into a river to finally kill him, where he actually died of hypothermia, not drowning. Simo Hiha. Simo Hiha, also known as the White Death, was a Finnish soldier and sniper who gained legendary status for his exceptional marksmanship during the Winter War between Finland and the Soviet Union in 1939 to 1940. Hiha was an expert in winter warfare and was credited with killing at least 505 Soviet soldiers using only his bolt-action rifle. Hiha's achievements as a sniper were truly remarkable. He would often wait for hours in freezing temperatures using snowbanks and camouflage to conceal himself from the enemy. He also developed a technique for controlling his breathing and minimizing his movement, allowing him to make incredibly accurate shots even at great distances. But Hiha's reputation as a badass goes beyond his deadly accuracy as a sniper. He was known for his bravery and his unwavering dedication to his country and his fellow soldiers, despite suffering serious injuries from an enemy bullet that shattered his jaw. Hiha refused to leave the battlefield and continued to fight until the war ended. Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc is a figure who has captured the imagination of people around the world for centuries. Born into a peasant family in the 15th century France, she was a young girl when she began to hear voices that she believed were sent by God. These voices told her that she had been chosen to lead the French army to victory in the ongoing 100 Years' War against England. Against all odds, Joan managed to convince the French king, Charles VII, to allow her to lead troops into battle. Clad in armor and carrying a banner that bore the image of Jesus and the words "Jesus Mary," Joan inspired the French soldiers to fight with renewed vigor and confidence. She led them to a string of stunning victories, including the lifting of the English siege of Orleans, which many at the time believed was impossible. Joan's success on the battlefield was all the more remarkable because of her humble origins and her status as a young woman in a male-dominated society. She has been celebrated in literature, art, and film, and has been recognized as a national heroine of France. Her story continues to inspire people around the world to this day as a testament to the power of faith, courage, and determination in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar is a formidable figure in Roman history, known for his military conquest, political cunning, and dramatic personal life. He was a skilled general who won many battles, including the conquest of Gaul, which helped expand the Roman Empire. He also made significant political and social reforms in Rome, such as granting citizenship to more people and implementing a new calendar system. However, Julius Caesar was not without controversy, and his rise to power was marked by political intrigue and violence. He famously crossed the Rubicon River with his army, starting a civil war that eventually led to his ascension as the dictator of Rome. He was also known for his romantic liaisons, including with the Egyptian queen Cleopatra, which added to his reputation as a charismatic and powerful leader. He's one of the most badass people in history. His legacy is complex, and his actions continue to be debated and studied by historians and scholars to this day. What did you think of this list? Did we miss a name? Let us know in the comments. While you're at it, join the league of people with a taste for the finer things in life and subscribe to our channel for a regular dose of awesomeness. We'll be back with another amazing video soon. Peace out.